Can we just acknowledge my nails, like the literal pen ink on them? Like, she's a writer. Hi, my name's Liza Rose. I am a poet in person, and today I'm going to walk you through my morning skincare routine as well as my everyday makeup look and maybe a little reading. So here I am in my bare natural form. Here's the blank canvas we are going to start with. So first I need to pin my bangs back because I do not like the feeling of having skincare in my hair. I'm going to start by using my NuFace device. I have to paint on the activator. This dries down really fast, so I kind of just put it on the area I'm right about to use the device on. This just kind of like reduces puffiness, fine lines and whatnot, and also like promotes collagen growth. And how it does that is through actually little electric currents, which sounds horrific. Kind of sounds like a torture device, but it does not hurt. Although, you know, beauty is pain, I grew up hearing quite often. And that's true in a lot of ways, you know. I mean, not only psychologically, but also physically. I am somebody who gets lip injections, which if you haven't gotten lip injections before, they really hurt. They definitely hurt worse than tattoos or any piercing. It is not for the weak. I also have a subscription to a monthly facial at Glow Bar, and it always low-key feels like torture to me. They are laying me down on this table, they are doing extractions, and sometimes they put me under this red light thing where it's like this dome that's on my face, and they put cotton balls over my eyes, and all I can see is like this red light, and I feel like I'm trapped in this little device. So it's kind of scary. The intersection of beauty and horror is something that I am super fascinated by. I am a big consumer of wellness horror, such as The Substance. I went as Sue for Halloween in 2024, and I consume a lot of books such as Rouge by Mona Awad, and I'm currently reading a book called Youth Juice. I am blanking on the author. And then of course in poetry, poems like Facelift by Sylvia Plath. And I find that heavily impacting my own work, the duality of beauty and pain and what women, I mean humans in general, are willing to go through to be seen as beautiful, to feel their best self, what you're willing to kind of put yourself through. The manuscript I'm currently working on has an entire section titled Final Girls that kind of looks at beauty through the lens of horror, and maybe I will read a poem from there today. I feel like I should quickly acknowledge this gash on my chest. This is from my beloved cat, Chai Honey. He didn't mean to. I was holding him, he sprung off of me. His little back claws are sharp right now, but it's beautiful. It's like a poem, especially I have a tattoo here that says "A thing of beauty is joy forever," John Keats, written in my late grandmother's handwriting, and that's kind of crazy that there's just like a slash through it, and we're talking about beauty today. Beauty is pain. And I just use some micellar water to get the rest of that off, and even on days where I'm lazy and I don't use my NuFace device, I like to use this so that, you know, it gets off my night skincare and just kind of takes the sleep off of me. I've been getting into glamour magic lately, which for me just kind of presents as saying affirmations as I do skincare or makeup. Like, I radiate beauty from the inside. I am magnetic. I attract the energy that I deserve. And for face wash, I'm using the Vanicream Gentle Cleanser. I used an acne wash for a long time, but it was drying out my skin. My skin journey has been kind of complicated. I did not have acne as a teenager. Like, I genuinely had porcelain skin. It wasn't until I went on birth control when I was 18 and then went off of it at 19 that I first experienced like bad acne. I had kind of cystic acne. I had just red patches of extreme breakouts. So that's when I shifted to more intensive skincare, and that really dried me out. I don't want to like splash like they do in those commercials. Let me try. Let me try again. Okay, don't do that. That's not a part of this. And just rub that all over. Turn off the water. Save the environment. After I wash my face, I always wash it again. Not with soap, but just with cold water to kind of like close my pores and like get rid of any lingering puffiness. Then I use a toner. This is Heartleaf Soothing Toner to just kind of get rid of any redness and just cleanse my skin one more time. In the world that we live in, it's so easy to feel kind of guilty about taking care of yourself, like buying yourself things that make you feel good about how you look and feel, but trying to think of it as like taking care of yourself is a form of rebellion. I fully believe that if you find the tenderness to really care for yourself, that will extend to your care for other people. And if you look your best, you feel your best, and you can show up as your best self for people that you love and even strangers, but most importantly for yourself. Speak of the little devil. This is Chai Honey. This is my baby. Say hi, Chai Honey. Look how handsome he is. Mother and child. I always wear a moisturizer with SPF. So this is the Vanacream facial moisturizer, SPF 30. I just take about that much. And I put it on to protect my skin. Once that's all rubbed in, I take some snail mucin. I love how shiny this makes my skin, so glowy, just kind of like naturally. It doesn't look greasy, it just looks like I am radiating. Look at that. She's glowing. I prime my face. I've been using the NYX face glue, which sounds a lot more intensive than it actually is. Take like that much and put it over my skin. I don't like a lot of like heavy foundation or anything, so I really love this just sheer tint. So it has SPF, so I am super protected from the sun. I always wet my beauty blender just to kind of get the product more easily blendable. And I just put some on and start dabbing it on. It's so weird to be getting ready in silence. I always have music on, usually like Lana Del Rey or Ethel Cain. I just put this literally all over my face. And then I just take a light concealer. I'm using Fenty Beauty to just get my dark circles first and foremost. I like to do it in a kind of triangle shape to kind of create some lift. Just some brightness to the under eye. I also put some on my forehead. And extend that a little bit down the bridge of my nose. And then I put a little bit on my chin. I look ghostly. Now it's time to contour. This is also Fenty Beauty in the shade Amber. And I put it under my cheekbones, also along my jawline, and then my forehead, and then my nose. It looks insane, but you need to trust the process. Take a brush and I blend all of this in. And then a smaller brush for my nose. I like to put a little bit my eyelids. And a little bit below and above my mouth to add some fullness. And I'll blend all of that. And I make sure to really extend that up almost to the end of my eyebrow. We're still looking a little ghostly, just a little spectral. I'm hoping blush will fix that. It usually does. So for blush, I use a liquid blush. I like that a lot more than powder. This is Rare Beauty in the shade Resilience, which is very beautiful. We love resilience. We love being resilient in a world that doesn't want us to be. I put about 3 dots and just kind of blend it in with the back of my beauty blender. I go like really close to my under eye and extend pretty far up again to create kind of lifting effect. And I go over the bridge of my nose a little bit. Just places where the sun would actually kiss me. I just put a little bit on the underside of my nose. I love a heavy blush look. It makes you look so healthy. Like I just exercised or, you know, other things. I take some highlighter. I've been using the Glossier stick since I was maybe 14. Glossier Chef's Kiss. This is the shade Quartz. It's just a super beautiful, natural, dewy glow. I prime my eyes with Rare Beauty. Again, this is like super out, so I will actually need to stick something in there because we use every last drop. We don't waste. For eyeshadow, I think this is e.l.f. This is very well loved. Doesn't even have like the plastic anymore. And I don't even think it's technically eyeshadow, but I use this lightest color, this white, and just put it all over my eyelid. Growing up, makeup was something that was kind of a necessity for women in my mind. My mother didn't and really still doesn't leave her house without having a full face of makeup. Same with her mother, my grandmother. One time my grandmother needed to go to the emergency room and her kids were, you know, waiting for her and they were like, where is she? You know, like we have to go. And somebody went upstairs and she was doing her makeup to go to the emergency room. It's been something that's been kind of hard to break. I find myself wearing makeup a lot less frequently than I used to. As a teenager, in middle school, honestly, starting when I was like 11, I would not be seen without makeup. I'm 25 now, and I would say 80% of the time I do not wear makeup. I just take care of my skin, and that is all. I go up barefaced. I'll do this makeup if I am teaching or, you know, going to some kind of event. A lot of days I just use eyeshadow as eyeliner. And this palette is so cute. I've had this since I was maybe like 19, and every name on here is an affirmation. So you can see, I am calm, I am exact, I am happy, I am brave. It's very beautiful. The one that I use is I am thankful, this nice brown color here. And I just put it on an angled brush and draw a little wing with it. And then I take some more and I put it on the underneath, and I actually stretch this the entire length of my eye. My top eyeliner I only do about to here. Just take another brush and I kind of just blend and carry it out to the corner. Oftentimes when I'm doing my makeup, I have this beautiful spray that smells just like roses called Covered in Roses. And I will just kind of, it's pretty strong. So then I do my mascara, which is my least favorite part of doing makeup. I have a lash curler, and talk about a torture device. This thing looks horrific. It reminds me of like Clockwork Orange. I definitely have Rapid Glam. I'm always changing mascaras. This one's nice because it has some kind of serum in it for length growth. And I feel like it makes my lashes look really natural and feathery, which I really appreciate. Trying not to do the mascara face. If you know, you know. I always do like an extra little bit in the corner. Once I do my top lashes, I actually go back in with my eyeshadow and kind of just create little points in the corners of my eye. And then bottom mascara. And for brows, I just use Glossier's Boy Brow. This is dark brown, and I just kind of swipe it straight across. I used to do the kind of like feathered brows upward because I naturally really thick eyebrows. These are slightly trimmed actually. But I'm into the kind of 90s look, fighting the urge to pick these into pencil thin, but for now I'm just kind of slicking them that way. And then we set it all down. I have just the e.l.f. mist. I'm going to line my lips with MAC's lip liner in Stone. It's really important for me now to find brands that are cruelty-free. However, there are some products that I've just had and I don't want to just throw them away, so I want to use them, this one being one of them. I just draw a little bit above my natural curve here, but stay kind of with it down here. This is really hard to do on camera. Same thing, I go down a little lower here, but stay true to my actual lips here. It looks kind of crazy, kind of scary until we put our lip gloss on. I've been loving the Lifter Gloss by Maybelline. This one is in caramel. It's not the one I usually use. I usually use another one called Stone, which is funny. The same name as my lip liner, but I can't find that. I'm always between like 5 different bags, backpack, purse, gym bag. So this is what I was able to find. And it just kind of blends out the lip liner. And that is the look. Let me take down my hair for full effect. Recipe. 1. Prime her, soft skin, slather like butter on prime steak. 2. Cover imperfections in the meat. The product, if applied too heavily, will settle in places she shows human emotions. 3. Carve out the bones, the hollows, cheekbones, jawbone, eyelids, bridge of nose with dark lines like Sharpie marks saying, cut here. 4. Blend to soften. 5. Sponge on pink liquid blush to feign there's blood beneath. 6. Gold garnish on the eyelids, eyeliner and mascara to mimic cow or doe eyes. 7. Glaze with wet highlighter, like sweat the places sunlight falls most. 8. Draw iron red on her lips, red like the apple in a pig's mouth. 9. Set her out. 10. Let her be feasted upon.